0 o'clock to 0:15, the most dangerous people in your life will never attack you face to face. They don't scream, they don't threaten you, and they don't openly challenge your authority. Instead, they use quiet, hidden mind games to slowly drain your power and control your reputation. In this video, we are exposing their exact playbook so you can catch them and crush their game instantly. We need to stop being naive about how social dynamics actually work. Every single interaction you have is, on some level, a negotiation of power and status. And while some people play this game fairly, others are running a ongoing war against your mental sovereignty. These are the hidden manipulators, the toxic colleagues, the passive-aggressive friends, or the controlling family members who view you not as a person, but as a resource to be managed. They operate in the shadows of polite conversation. They hide their aggression behind smiles, jokes, and feigned concern. And because their attacks are invisible, you often don't even realize you've been targeted until the damage is already done, until you've agreed to something you didn't want, until you've lost respect in your peer group, or until you're questioning your own reality. This video is your operational weapon. We are done being blind to conversational warfare. We are moving past the comforting illusions of polite society and diving directly into the tactical mechanics of how manipulation actually functions. We will break down the exact raw tactics you need to look out for, and I will give you the precise behavioral tools to not just defend yourself, but to completely dismantle their strategy the second it starts. True power doesn't come from hoping people treat you fairly. It comes from being so strategically sharp that no one can even attempt to play a game around you without getting exposed. Let's get to work. Part 2. The backhanded PRAI's trap. The slickest and most common weapon a hidden manipulator uses is the insult disguised as praise. This is the classic backhanded compliment. It is designed to hit you with a jab of disrespect while simultaneously giving the manipulator the perfect cover of plausible deniability. They will look you right in the eye, in front of your colleagues or friends, and say something like, "Wow, you did a surprisingly good job on that presentation," or "I love how you'll just wear anything, you're so brave." Let's analyze the raw wording here. It's not an accident. The word surprisingly implies they had a low opinion of your competence and expected you to fail. The word brave implies your sense of style is actually terrible, and you're oblivious for wearing it. The genius of this trap is that it forces you into a strategic dilemma. If you smile and say thank you, your subconscious brain knows you just swallowed a slight, and you will feel that low-level disrespect festering. If you get angry and defensive, you are the one who looks insecure and overly sensitive. They will immediately flip the script, raising their hands in feigned innocence, and saying, "Wow, it was just a compliment. Why are you getting so crazy?" They make. To break this trap, you must refuse both options. You do not accept the compliment, and you do not get mad. You use the labeling tactic. The next time someone drops a backhanded compliment, pause for a beat. Look them dead in the eyes with absolute indifference, and calmly strip away their disguise by describing exactly what they are doing. Use a calm, flat tone, and say something like, "That sounded like a compliment, but it felt like a shot. Which one was it?" This direct phrase completely breaks their strategy. You have forced the hidden insult out into the bright light, in front of everyone. Because manipulators are inherently cowardly and rely on social cover, they will almost always panic, back down, and claim they didn't mean it that way. You have completely protected your leverage while making them look incredibly foolish to the entire room. Part 3. The guilt trip exclusion. Another common game you will face, especially with people closer to you, is emotional sabotage via the guilt trip. This happens when you set a clear, logical boundary, like saying no to a bad business deal, refusing to work late for free, or calling out someone's disrespectful behavior, and they immediately bypass your logic and target your emotions. Instead of addressing the actual issue, they flip the script to make you look like the bad guy. They will say things like, "After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me." Or "I guess our partnership doesn't actually matter to you," or even, "If you really cared, you would do this." Notice what they are doing. They are trying to trigger your inherent social desire to be perceived as a good person. They know that if they can make you feel guilty or anxious about damaging the relationship, your boundaries will collapse, and you will give them exactly what they want just to keep them happy and make the bad feeling go away. This is pure emotional blackmail. You set a boundary, greater than they trigger guilt, targeting emotion, greater than your boundary collapses, greater than total loss of control. To neutralize this, you must apply the facts-only filter. You must consciously decide that their emotional tantrum is irrelevant data. Completely ignore their drama and their fake hurt feelings. Do not apologize, and do not defend your character. Do not say, "I am a good partner, but," as that validates their attack. You address only the objective reality of the situation. Look at them and say, with complete calm, my decision has nothing to do with how much I value our partnership. It is based entirely on the terms we agreed on. Let's stick to the data. By refusing to step into their emotional arena, you leave them completely powerless. You are showing them that your mind cannot be manipulated by a cheap emotional performance. You stay the unshakable anchor, focused on the facts, while their emotional tantrum burns itself out. They will either get with the program or exit the interaction. Either way, you win. Part 4. The Information Lockdown. The absolute best defense against a hidden manipulator is giving them absolutely nothing to work with. You need to understand that manipulators are, first and foremost, data collectors. They are constantly listening, observing, and taking mental notes on your complaints, your fears, your secrets, and your future goals. Average people talk too much. We want to connect, we want validation, and we want to fit in. We vent about our bad bosses, we brag about our upcoming projects, and we overshare our insecurities, thinking we are building rapport. But a manipulator takes every single piece of data you give them and stores it away as ammunition. They will weaponize your insecurities against you during a future disagreement. They will use your fears to sabotage your confidence. They will steal your ideas and pitch them as their own. They use your desire for connection as a tool to control you. Oversharing personal data, greater than handing over ammunition, greater than data weaponized against you later. Information lockdown, greater than clean boundaries, greater than absolute strategic opacity. To lock down your power, you must practice strategic opacity. This does not mean you have to be mean, quiet, or antisocial. It just means you must be highly selective with your output. When you are dealing with colleagues you don't trust, competitive peers, or anyone who seems overly invested in your business, you must keep your conversations completely surface level and generic. Talk about the weather, talk about sports, talk about industry trends, or discuss generic, public business targets that everyone already knows. Never tell them who you are dating. Never tell them your specific financial weak points or goals. And above all, never tell them your next big play before it is already executed and finished. As the saying goes, move in silence. If they try to pry into your personal life with nosy, targeted questions, do not answer them, and do not make an excuse. Just look at them calmly and deploy a polite block. I prefer to keep my private life completely separate from business. Let's focus on the task at hand. When you become an information void, the manipulator has zero leverage. They cannot trap a mind they cannot read. You keep all your options open while they are left guessing. Conclusion: the untouchable frame. The social matrix is full of people who want to control your actions, drain your leverage, and manage your value for their own benefit. They want to set the rules, define the game, and keep you reacting. You can continue to play the naive game. You can continue to believe everyone has good intentions, let small slights pass, and hand out your personal data and future plans to anyone who asks, wondering why you always end up feeling disrespected and managed. Or you can install this raw social strategy right now. You can learn to spot the backhanded praise, filter out the emotional guilt trips, and lock down your information. True mental authority doesn't come from aggression or dominating others. It comes from being so strategically disciplined that no one can get a hook into your mind. Stop being a safe target for hidden manipulators. Reclaim your sovereignty, protect your frame, and let's rewire your mind for ultimate control. The game is live. Own your power.